Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by the Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission. The Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission advocates on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham. And now tonight we're going to be talking with an organization called Food for Families. I think the most interesting thing about this organization is that it was created by students from Centennial High School. And so here to talk about Food for Families, we have Adrienne Harden. You are the Executive Director for Food for Families. And Shayla Chernyanin, you are a student volunteer. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
So Adrienne, maybe you can start out telling me a little bit about the organization, how this started.
Sure, no problem. So Shar Giard is the Centennial School Board Chair, and she approached me in early 2014 about starting this nonprofit. Not only am I the Executive Director of Food for Families, I'm also one of the business teachers at the high school, and I run, I'm the advisor for an academic organization called Future Business Leaders of America.
Oh, sure.
So our Future Business Leaders of America students were kind of tasked with this. Hey, why don't you learn about business by starting one? So we thought it'd be a really cool opportunity to teach the kids about business and start a nonprofit. So we started having meetings in about 2014, right? And we had a group of extremely talented young adults writing the business plan, developing the program of work, kind of the vision, mission statement, and more importantly, doing all of the necessary paperwork to become a 501c3.
Which can be daunting.
It is daunting. I don't even really know how it happened, but just one day we were like, this all happened. So it was a great process, and Shayla and her classmates were all part of that. And the pantry is actually run out of a retired school bus, which a lot of people don't know. So the school bus was donated to us from the high school, and we had our manufacturing metal students remove all the seats and put in shelving, and so
so this is a lot of students who are involved in this initiative, one way or the other.
We refer to the project as community helping community, so it really is about getting the students involved and having some ownership in this as well.
I love it. I love it. So Shayla, when you first heard about this, what did you think? Were you told that this was going to be, you were just going to start a business, or was it that it was going to be a nonprofit, or did you have any say in what it would be about?
To be honest, I was just a little freshman back then.
Little freshman. Are you a big senior now?
I'm a junior.
Oh, you're a junior.
I will be a senior. I was kind of confused about what was going on because it was my first year and everything, but
everything's confusing your first year.
I saw what all the seniors and juniors were doing, and I started to realize that this could make a really big impact on the community, especially because of all the people who were so involved in it, like the manufacturing students, and then we had the National Honor Society and the thespians at our school start volunteering. And it was honestly really cool, and I thought that it would be a great thing, and I had a feeling that it would really impact our community.
And Shayla could speak to this too, but we have one of the biggest issues that we were approached with was just food insecurity in our community, and you can speak to that.
So who chose that as the issue that your nonprofit was going to address?
You want to talk about it?
Well, we got statistics from our school district, and we were told that 70% of students qualify for free or reduced lunch. And in 3 elementary schools in our district, 100% of students are on free and reduced lunch. Yeah. So there was obviously a big need for some sort of service and some sort of extra support, especially because these students, they probably come to school hungry and they can't really focus on what they're doing. And especially young children, they really need that extra energy from food.
And they're growing. learning. They
Yeah.
need that. They need that just to develop their brains.
And you know, I mean, research shows if kids are hungry, they're acting out in other ways, and so we just really felt like if we could keep kids their tummies full, then we could, you know, try to reduce some of the things that those kids are seeing. And as you know, out here in East County, it is really considered a food desert. There isn't a lot of resources for families to get groceries.
That's right.
And if you don't have transportation, it's hard to get places. Some of the metro transportation out here isn't as good as it is, and
unless you live in a certain
exactly.
area there.
So we knew that there was a real niche for what we were doing, and we've serviced the 2 years. We just actually looked before we came in, but each year it looks as though we've serviced nearly 1,300 families.
Wow.
And distributed about 52,000 pounds of food.
That's pretty amazing. That's
and
pretty amazing.
I mean, you know, we kind of just joke. I'm like, this is just high school kids and their crazy high school teacher. So
it's not just that, though. I mean, you're actually making an impact. I mean, that's a lot of people affected. So how does this work? So, say I live in the area, and I don't have enough money to get all the food I need to feed my kids. How do I connect with Food for Families?
So really the process is easy. We have distributions on the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of the month. However, next year that will be the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays, so that's going to change next year.
From 4:30 to 6:30.
From 4:30 to 6:30, and they're always going to be at the high school. So just find a way to get to Centennial, and then there's usually a line. That's one of the hardest parts, then you just sign in and let us know how many family members you have in your household, and then we just walk you through the bus. So you enter through the front, pick a the amount of food that you get is based off of how many people are in your household. So there's perishable items, canned food, bread, snacks. Meats. We provide baby food and toiletries and
dog food and
there's a whole bunch of stuff.
It's just like a little grocery store.
It's all in the bus.
We've since grown a little bit outside of the bus.
That's a lot.
We have coolers outside for the meats and yogurts and dairy items, and then they exit through the back. We have a ramp, and then, as she said, the manufacturing students, they took out the seats and then installed shelving inside.
That's great. That's great. I love that. I didn't ever know that part of it, that there was another part of the school actually involved in doing that too.
We are a partner agency with the Oregon Food Bank, which is extremely helpful, and so we follow a lot of the guidelines set forth by Oregon Food Bank. So our pantry is self-declaration, so we just ask that when you come in that you're declaring your need. We understand that things vary from month to month, from day to day, and we're not asking...
You're not asking for proof of your income?
No proof of income, no ID.
The honor system. Yep.
And like Shayla said, based on the number of members in your family, we allocate based on that. So.
What do you find you run short of the most? Is it like fresh produce and that kind of thing?
Perishables.
Which is probably, so what happens during the summertime when you're not in school?
We've actually run in the summertime. So we seems to happen that we don't run in June. We go to our Future Business Leaders of America actually go to a national conference, and so we're out of town in June.
That's probably helpful too.
So we've done them in July and August. We haven't set a summer schedule for this summer quite yet. So,
but that's a time where you can get more produce, I imagine.
Right. And the Oregon Food Bank does provide perishables. They're just allocated to each of the organizations. So when we go to pick up our perishables, they'll say you can have this many crates of whatever or this much bread, and so but that's what everybody needs is the perishables.
And some of the food pantries don't provide any perishables at all. They're just not able to do that. So the fact that you're able to is really
we really are focusing on healthy nutrition and especially for our community, culturally sensitive foods and those types of things, and really trying to be cognizant of what our market would want. So
I think that's pretty impressive right there. I don't think that's something that a lot of organizations probably are able to consider just because of the size or whatever. I mean, the fact that you're doing that is great.
One super advantage to being at the high school is that these kids speak the languages that our clients speak. So oftentimes when we have Hispanic families, we have students there that can speak Spanish. Shayla can speak Bosnian, we have people there can speak Russian and Vietnamese, and
so there's so many languages.
Right.
I mean, I'm not sure how many there are in Centennial, but I know there's close to 80 in the area.
Right.
So it can be pretty overwhelming for people.
A huge advantage for us because I think families know that when they get there that there'll be people that can help them.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's wonderful. So what do you do, Shayla? What is your job now as far as this organization goes?
She's in charge.
When I can, I do go to the Oregon Food Bank and I help pick up the food, and then I help set up and just setting up the bus, and then serving as a personal shopper. So I'm the one who wears the red apron and guides people through the bus and helps them shop for their food. And I also help with fundraising events. So we run Eagle Scream Fest, and that's where we fundraise money for Food for Families, and I help run the talent show at our school, and that also goes towards Food for Families. And
there's a huge community food drive.
Yeah, and I'm also a part of that as well. I helped send out letters to businesses and dropped off boxes to businesses and helped collect food for the organization. And I think through that we raised about 30,000 pounds of food, I would say, during the canned food drive this year. So, and we have that every year.
Feel pretty good.
Yeah,
feel pretty good. Yeah. So I imagine you have a lot of good community partners besides the Oregon Food Bank. There's other organizations or businesses that kind of help out through the year. And your food, where are you getting your food besides Oregon Food Bank? Do you get it from other local?
It's all of our community. Honestly, when we say it is community helping community, it has been community. You would be amazed what an elementary school canned food drive can do for you.
I had to go pick up cans from Pleasant Valley, and we had to take like 3 trips to Pleasant Valley Elementary.
And aren't you one of the ones that have some of the worst poverty in their?
And it's amazing that these people just give and give and give. And the community, when I say these people, I mean like our community is that's what I get.
It's the neighbors, it's the people that live there, that go to school there, that
just
shop
thinking
there.
about it's like half these kids could benefit from this service, and they're finding what they can to help everybody. And so
incredible.
It's amazing. It's an absolute amazing thing that the kids are doing, and they're learning life skills too, and I think that's really important. Not only are they volunteering for their community, I'm really big about teaching kids about being civic minded and obviously running a business,
well, that's
like
a huge thing to be able to learn
operating,
in high school.
purchasing, invoicing, training employees, but just the communication, the time management, just all the employable skills.
I know plenty of adults that don't know, that don't have those skills, so it's a really huge benefit.
Yeah, and one of the things is people don't understand is that we set this whole thing up every other week and we close it down, so it's not just there. I mean, we have to put everything away, and we've been fortunate to have our life skills students help with a lot of the stocking of the shelves, and Shayla goes out and helps monitor and that kind of thing. So
sounds like Centennial has a pretty good I don't know what the word is. It's the sense of community in their student body itself.
It's been great. So.
That's wonderful. So, what have you personally gotten out of this? Is besides the skills, or is there anything that affects you personally that changes your attitude about life or that kind of thing?
I think one of the most impactful distributions was the one we had before Thanksgiving. And it was a Tuesday right before Thanksgiving, and it was pouring rain. It was like 20 degrees.
It's one of those days you didn't want to be anywhere in the house.
But I had like 2 raincoats on, sweatpants, 2 pairs of socks, hat, gloves. But it was really rough during the whole thing. But once I got in my car, all soaking wet, I sat back and realized how many people like we helped that night, and that was really one of the best things ever. And I came home and I talked about it to my parents, and I said, I did this and I helped people in our community who really need it, especially right before the biggest holiday in America. So.
Okay, you got me all choked up now.
It was. I'm thinking about the rain.
The rain was just traumatizing, but
I got
it was
boots
worth
after
it.
that. Yeah,
It was worth it.
It was awesome. I mean, like we were all sitting there just soaked to the bone and like laughing and
happy.
I mean, yeah,
Happy 'cause we did something.
and yeah. I mean, it was pretty impressive.
I mean, I couldn't feel my feet for like 2 hours, but it was okay. It was okay.
You know, we're just about out of time here. I'm very impressed with the work that you're doing, and
Thank
that
you.
know you're shepherding this whole project, and then the amazing work that you and your students are doing. So
Thank you.
keep up the good work, and I would encourage others in the community,
Yes.
family, businesses, and organizations and individuals to donate money,
Absolutely.
food, whatever.
Volunteer.
Yeah.
We're on Facebook, and you can find information on our website. So,
Great.
and you can always call the high school. They'll direct you right to me.
Okay,
So.
wonderful. Thank you both so much.
Thank you,
for being on
Monica,
here.
for having us.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
appreciate it. This is obviously a wonderful organization. The kids are learning a whole lot more than just about food, and so do support them in any way that you can. Community Hotline has one more segment, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by the Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission. The Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission advocates on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
Coming here to shoot my documentary was more than I ever would have dreamed of doing.
This is a community media station.
It was phenomenal.
Ready, camera one.
What is it about this place that makes so many different people come together?
Ready, camera two.
Very professional, experienced people.
You can use these industry standard pieces of equipment.
Camera three. Take three.
You don't have to be rich to do this.
Open people's eyes to something they've never even thought of before.
Cool stuff happens. It becomes this community.
That's going to really change who's telling the stories and who's controlling the messaging.